The supper takes place in a plain room hung with tapestries. Through the windows, we catch a glimpse of a quiet and wonderfully beautiful landscape, while the central window also serves as a frame for the head of Christ. The near side of the table has been left free for service and for us to view the scene, while the guests are grouped on the further side and the ends. The artist has chosen to depict the moment when Christ says, "Verily I say unto you, that one of you shall betray me." These unexpected words have fallen upon the group like an electric shock. They have broken the company into 4 distinct groups, each distinguished by its peculiar psychologic state, and exhibiting in the several faces every emotion of which the situation is capable. On the extreme left are Bartholomew, James the Less, and Andrew, all speechless and dumbfounded over the announcement. Bartholomew stares incredulously. Andrew protests by holding up both his hands. James cannot believe his ears and reaches over to Peter to verify the word. In the next group, Judas, smitten by his guilty conscience, recoils from the master and instinctively clutches his bag that has been his undoing, while in his agitation he upsets the salt cellar. Peter leans forward with breathless haste and whispers, "Tell us who it is of whom he speaketh." John, in utter distress, sinks back towards Peter. On the extreme right, Simon holds out both hands as if to show his utter innocence of any treachery, while Thaddeus gazes earnestly into his face, as much as to say, "This is preposterous. He is certainly mistaken." And Matthew says excitedly, "But he says it is one of us," pointing the while toward Jesus with both his hands. In the right center is the most vigorous and interesting group. Each one is bidding for the master's attention and expressing his unmistakable protest. Emotional and self-distrustful, Thomas, with finger raised almost in the face of Jesus, exclaims, "Is it I, Lord?" James, acting surely his part as a son of thunder, explodes with a double gesture of horror, and Philip pours out his soul in a look of utter sincerity, while his hands would lay open his naked heart for inspection. All this is passionate, dramatic action. It dwarfs every other representation of the scene. While these groups are separate, they are all united to the central figure in subtle ways. By look, or gesture, or pose of body, they lead our thought to that isolated one, who sits unmoved in the midst of the confusion he has caused. His hands, too, are spread open in innocency, but the passivity of the gesture shows that he has surrendered himself to his fate. What his face was like, we can only dimly guess. Yet, in the Brera sketch, we have undoubtedly a suggestion of the spirit which Da Vinci meant to breathe into this Christ. It is the face of a young man well under the prime of life, a beardless face whose unconcealed contours reveal every subtlest movement of the thought within. A Hebrew face, sensitive as the young Isaiah's to the whisperings of God. An intellectual face, keenly alive to the meaning of the issues that focus in this moment, though they stream hither from the boundaries of space. A disciplined face, one that has subordinated to the higher will the imperious forces of body and soul, and that can look tragedy in the eye calmly when it comes. An emotional face, the saddest face in history or in art, yielding itself for a moment only to the tortures of betrayed friendship, of spiritual teachings misunderstood or perverted, of work unaccomplished and purposes unfulfilled, of love poured out in vain. The moment will pass. The sinister cause of the shadow upon his spirit will remove himself to complete his work of perfidy, and once more the sunshine of self-forgetfulness will fill the room with cheer. Let not your heart be troubled will soon restore to these sorrowing disciples the comfort and the peace of one who has overcome the world.